let's do the bridge again for my little singers.
From the first?
Let's do the first bridge. Let's go all the way through. All the way through to the end. You're good? You're good with notes? Hey, Juanito. Bro, I need more. I don't even know how to ask for this. I need more bass. Like the kick on the floor. Turn the drums up. Because he plays like a little boy. I know. But then Danny plays and he's blasting like Josh, bro. Like, I'm good with your volume. Just play like a little boy. Okay, so let's bring him up on the kick. You can bring the drums up here a little bit. Just a little bit, bro. Like, not even a lot. Plays like a babe. Like a babe, Felix. All right, here we go. Bridge. Yeah, I'm in a mood this morning. Sorry, guys. Here we go. 1, 2, 1. Hey! He brought me out of my sorrow. He brought me out of my shame. He brought me out of my mourning. Hey! He brought me out of my world. He brought me out of my pain. He brought me out of my sadness. I'm laughing. Hey! He brought me out of my sorrow. He brought me out of my shame. He brought me out of my mourning. I'm dancing. He brought me out of my worry. He brought me out of my pain. He brought me out of my sadness. I'm laughing again. Wait.
So it doesn't build up on that on the four,
on the first?
fifth.
Wait, that is 4.
I don't think it builds up there, right? It builds up on the next one.
He brought me out of my darkness. He broke me out of my chains. He brought me out of the
Well, we didn't do that one yet. Doesn't it build up on that part? On that one.
We only do that one once. Okay. He brought me out of my darkness. He brought me out of my chains. He brought me out of depression. I'm shouting again. And I will sing about Jesus. Then the one we
So
the
it's
one,
5?
The one we build up. The one we build up. No, it's not 5. It's 4 with the tag bridge. All right, he brought me out of the darkness, brought me out of my chains. Okay, let's do it again. Right. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. He brought me out of my sorrow. He brought me out of my shame. He brought me out of my mourning. I'm dancing. He brought me out of my world. He brought me out of my pain. He brought me out of my sadness. I'm laughing. He brought me out of my darkness. He brought me out of my shame. He brought me out of my world. I'm shouting. And I will sing. I'll sing about Jesus. All right, go back to what we were doing. Why did you change it? Build up from that.
But it's 4. Well, I'm confused. Like, what are we doing? So I can, like,
I thought we do the depression one. That's the second bridge. I thought.
Yeah, but it's only once. That one's only once.
Yeah, but on the second bridge. That's why it's 4 on the first one. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna
We do it on both times.
Yes.
It's just on. I'm shouting again on the second bridge. It goes into He brought me out of. All right, look. This is how we're gonna do it. He brought me out of my sorrow. He brought me out of my shame. I'll do it by myself one time. Then the choir does it by themselves again, but like all together. And then we'll do the last bridge. He brought me out of my darkness. He brought me out of my chains. So it's gonna be a total of 4 of the normal one. And then the bridge to come out to the chorus is gonna be He brought me out of my darkness. He brought me out of my chains. He brought me out of depression. I'm shouting again.
Oh, I get it.
He brought me, and I will sing.
So that's gonna be that's 1. That's 2. That's 3. Build. That's the 4th when we build.
No, the 5th. So no. So he brought me out of my sorrow, right? And then he brought me out of my worry. That's 1 with me, right? Then they sing it. He brought me out of my sorrow. No. So then he brought me out of my worry. He brought me out of my pain. He brought me out of my sadness. I'm laughing. And then when they go to darkness, he brought me out of my darkness. He brought me out of my chains. He brought me out of depression. I'm dancing again. I will sing. And same thing on the other one. He brought me out of. Okay. Everybody good? Everybody got what we're doing? All right, here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. He brought me out of my sorrow. He brought me out of my shame. He brought me out of my mourning.
brought me out of my sorrow. He brought me out of my shame. He brought me out of my mourning. I'm dancing again. He brought me out of my worry. He brought me out of my pain. He brought me out of my sadness. I'm laughing. He brought me out of my darkness. Broke me out of my chains. He brought me out of depression. I'm shouting again. Yeah, I will sing, and I will sing. I'll sing about Jesus. Sing about His goodness and all He's done. Oh, I will sing. I'll sing about Jesus. Sing about His mercy. I can't outrun. We'll sing. I'll sing about Jesus. Sing about His goodness and all He's done. And I will sing. I'll sing about Jesus. Sing about His mercy. I can't outrun. And I will testify with my hands lifted high. He brought me out of my sorrow. He brought me out of my shame. He brought me out of my mourning. I'm dancing again. He brought me out of my worry. He brought me out of my pain. He brought me out of my sadness. I'm laughing again. He brought me out of my sorrow. He brought me out of my shame. He brought me out of my mourning. I'm dancing again. He brought me out of my worry. He brought me out of my pain. He brought me out of my sadness. I'm laughing again. He brought me out of my darkness. Broke me out of my chains. He brought me out of depression. I'm shouting again. He brought me out. He brought me out of the miry clay. Set my foot on the rock. Yeah, He gave me freedom and a song to sing. I'll sing about Jesus. Yeah, He brought me out of the miry clay. Set my foot on the rock. Yeah, He gave me freedom and a song to sing. I'll sing about Jesus. Yeah, 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 I'll sing about Jesus. I'll sing about Jesus. I'll sing about Jesus. I'll sing about Jesus. I'll shout 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 about Jesus. I'll sing about Jesus. I'll sing about Jesus. I'll sing about Jesus. I'll sing about Jesus. I'll shout about Jesus. I'll sing about Jesus. I'll sing about Jesus. I'll sing about Jesus. I'll shout about Jesus. I'll shout about Jesus. I'll shout about Jesus. I'll shout about Jesus. I'll sing about Jesus. I'll shout 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 about Jesus. I'll sing about Jesus. Sing about His goodness and all He's done. Oh, I will sing. I'll sing about Jesus. Sing about His mercy. I cannot run. And I will sing. I'll sing about Jesus. Sing about His goodness and all He's done. I will sing. I'll sing about Jesus. Sing about His mercy. I cannot run. And I will testify with my hands lifted high. I'll sing about Jesus. I'll sing about Jesus. I'll sing about Jesus.
about Jesus.
I'll sing about Jesus. I'll sing about Jesus. I'll sing about Jesus. I'll sing about Jesus. I'll sing about Jesus. I'll sing about Jesus.
Come on, if you got a song about Jesus, lift him up.